for a year 2024, 7 December, about 20 opportunity. A year free SHS students need or more say, or more 2024, the abandon opportunity, or more money at the whole year because more much for more normal barbetia a year free SHS no so. In 2024, 7 December, about 20 opportunity. Eyade omokoto aba ediada eyiye na yeva ediada eyiye na present na nado ase ewa ade a chese wayama eyo omagana na ni na se yenim se ye na yeva president Dr. Bawumia eno ye fragbara ma NPP party no nti eyade a eye free SHS student no omokoto abana omode ada eye na ye president na nado ase ni na so mbeto omaba ama ye na vice president Dr. Bawumia na wetumi abetua eye free SHS no so na enum ene yekopiem ye northern region eye ye papa ba ko bi wa ba bonten eno de nsem etudwa na ne nsem eje so o kani na ne sem o se fitina na no mabro so eno start se o tuna ba ema NDC party no watu abana ma NDC party na chese we nyamfa so de bia ewo so ene sen senia na ne ma mene ne papa no muniska wentumi antua no so wentumi anko school endu baby esesenko odu na onye ejuma pa ede ye no wentumi anye sa intinse nyame aboa na ne ma owuwo nyina ne nyame aboa na so mwetumi abekọ ye free SHS no mwawie no masanso eto aso dia ene we hu se enuama pa ewo NPP party ni mu ene free education so etumi ama ne ma etumi edu baby dia ene nya de 2024 7 December abato ye kwa akotu oko we sine time ato aba ama NDC party bibim oni NDC photo kwanta wa pai nsamne de bebre ene ye pape edi etudwa osi watu na ba fiti de one or started so aba watu na ba NDC party ni sa enso ene na brabo senior aye no aye different because say if say free SHS ama enya den ko betumi aye de edine ma aba kompo etumi akọ eye secondary school na senyame adum na say free SHS abadia ene enya do okoto na ba ma NDC party na 2024 nyoma asanso asesembem because so na ba ma NDC party na enya de NPP betumi aye de ewini ne kokromoti ba akonompo etumi ye bibia nsamne de bebe ene ye pape ede to just 2024 nya de ko wasting the time na watu na ba ama NDC party na ye NPP party no ene ekọ nsam bebre ene ye pape ede etudwa yenkoje nsam no ntwe mu ni wi a asanso ba ebedi ho nkomo aha eye kento TV me na wase
ya ye ka se ya igbefu no ye nyina ye NDC fo but on se me di kan ka se ye ma ye ni nda wonu ma omu di ye toy bi NDC fo no omu di ye toy bi se ye toy bi e ma o enti dia papa we ka sesia no hu ayemi de se o bossa no minsu mi ba wo bi school this year mi ba e sa free education ena so sa na mi voice wo enti no se mi angasa mi hwe mi ma brabo na mi ti ha na mi pay na mi di wa ha no mo se nye free education nti a mi ba no anka mi ye ne den anka obedo ana se den na obeye enti no dia papa o yika no se omo a omo ntu aba eda no yutufuo no omo ma omo ni nda ho na omudachi se ye dia ya ba kokora wi o omudachi what you say se sia no kosu adwuma na se wu ni ma kinkan ya won tumi nko ntumi
efo na che se free education dia boa NDC fo so adada mo ifo na che
mi bra baako wo ye weather sa edum so no bae no wo bokase sran wo da so titi sia
Mahama dum so
because on na light di ye adwuma obi bie ni store wo nya light e di to ni nyama o store ni nyama nyina bibia proper enti no Mahama
Kega funya electoral area na ye din komo ye o
Mahama yenja trade na ye bibi papa wo ho no a ye ma ye ni nda ho e wo youthful enti no se obi nso wo bibi ka fa ho a na omu ka kire you to phone pa say omu tu ma omia
Number one
na yentumi ko yenim na mu jai NDC no so wadi bi pay so obeye bibia nka waye dada wo enti na oba beye wo obepiki oba sisia na sa na obesisa nyama na akoku ne busuafo na wuti ha na obre enti no manuesia
yeah, that's
who are watching, basically what we are going to do, we are going to beat the NDC in this election with a strategy that they will never understand. One that will shock them. One that will amaze them. You remember how before we came into 2024, they said we don't have a message that we cannot even go out to campaign. I'm sure you remember.
Yeah.
And then because they were there, they were the only ones. And I'm sure you remember how in about 6 weeks, Dr. Baumia pushed them into oblivion. And now you can't find them anywhere. And that till date, the Ghanaian people are struggling to understand what they represent and what the options they are. That's how we are going to beat the NDC. We are superior to the NDC. We have a flag bearer that is superior to John Mahama. A flag bearer that is more committed and sincere to the people of Ghana than John Mahama. John Mahama is disrespecting us by even thinking of coming to tell us that we should vote for him. He's disrespecting us. It's an insult to the people of Ghana for us to see him on TV and say, vote against these people and vote for me rather. You collapsed and sold 300 factories. We should vote for the people who have worked the private sector to bring 300 factories. We should vote against them and vote for you. You withdrew teacher and nurses allowance. You are telling us that vote against those who have restored teachers and nurses allowance and give it to me. You kept teachers and nurses who graduated at home, 2014, 15, 16. These people have come to keep them at post. You are saying that vote against the NPP even though they brought these teachers and nurses to work and vote for me who kept them at home. Teachers and nurses work for a year. You pay them for 3 months. You are saying that the ones that is paying them for the time they are working should be voted out, and then you, who paid them for 3 months instead of 1 year, you should be voted for. It doesn't add up. You kept us in darkness for 3 years out of your 4 years. You are saying that the guys that kept power on for 7 years, 8 years in their tenure should be voted out for you. It doesn't add up. You constructed over just about 4,000 kilometers of road. You are saying that we should vote against the government that has constructed 12,000 kilometers of road and vote for you. It doesn't add up. This government has encountered challenges. The macroeconomic indicators are difficult, have been difficult in the past 3-4 years. But this government is working at it. What we are having, the conversation we are having with the people of Ghana is this. Let's protect the gains we have made. Let's protect the little effort we've been able to, the little output we've been able to make, whilst we pursue the outstanding ones. And that's why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia proposes the bold solutions. The bold solutions encompasses protecting the gains, protecting and consolidating the gains we have made. At the same time, proposing specific sector tailor-made solutions to all the issues confronting us in this country. And the people are receiving it well. It's resonating with the people because they don't trust Mahama. They believe in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Mahama was vice president. He came to tell us in 2012 that he's a spare driver. You remember he said that at the IEA debate. He said, I'm a spare driver. Make me the main driver and I will deliver you.
Your candidate says he's a mate as well.
Exactly. A mate is far productive than the spare driver. Do you know what the spare drivers do? For those who go to church or ask your cameraman in the production room, when you go to the church station, let me show you the setting. At the church station, the critical people, there's a bookman. You know the bookman?
Yes.
Then there are mates and the drivers. You know there's a shed.
Yeah.
That shed where they play the draft and the ludo. So whilst you are loading, you are playing your draft and your ludo. Over there are two categories of people. There are the drivers who are driving the cars and the spare drivers. They lazy around. They do nothing. The only time you see a spare driver do something is when a driver doesn't show up for work because he's not well. Or a driver has to do something and the spare driver will come and take your car temporarily and go. But do you know what happens to the mate? Whilst the driver is relaxing for his trotro to be loaded, the mate is loading it. The mate is cleaning the car. The mate is washing the car. The mate is checking the oil. A mate is far productive to the effort of transport than a spare driver. So really take your time to analyze the situation. But that's just beside the key point. The point here is that he said he's a spare driver. We should make him the main driver. We listened. We actually listened. And we made him a main driver. When he became main driver, what did he do to us? In fact, at the time when we went through challenges which were domestically induced, I won't say that governments do not encounter challenges. Every government will encounter challenges. But the difference between the good leader and the bad leader is that the good leader is not saying that there will be absence of challenges. But a good leader is the one that in the presence of challenges and difficulties is able to mobilize the people work with them to get them out on the path of prosperity and progress. When he encountered challenges, when we were in energy crisis, when doctors were asking for better conditions of service, when nurses, the poor parents were asking for support for their children to go to school, he told the poor people in this country that if you only vote for me on the basis of the restoration of your nurses and teachers allowance, then I'll ask you to vote against me. He told the doctors that he's not ready to negotiate with them on anything. At the time when we didn't have power, he was increasing electricity. When we told him that it's becoming too expensive, even though it's not there, he said if it's becoming too expensive, stop charging your phone. That is that fine difference between John Mahama and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We have a government that says that yes, we acknowledge that there are challenges. The economic indicators haven't been easy, but we beg you, we have to take some hard pills now to be able to get ourselves out of this once and for all. Shall we look at these solutions? We need to do debt restructuring. Please, you need to let go a certain portion of your assets. It is just to save the state. We need to come back on our feet. And this government has been working day and night slowly to try to get us out of it. You are saying that we should get this government out and bring you. You who encountered, tell me, what was the global economic challenges we were encountering in 2013, 14, 15, and 16 that warranted the difficulties we went through? We didn't have power simply because we had generators but had no money to buy fuel to power the generators. That was all.
The challenge we're facing now.
No, we are not. The same challenge we faced for 10 weeks. The same challenge we faced for 10 weeks. So that's the same challenge, and you are right. For 10 weeks. Why would you let go a government that put you through that challenge for 10 weeks for a government that put you through for 3 years? That is why Ghanaians don't trust him. That poor woman that you left her child at home for not accessing senior high school is the one going to vote against you. That senior high school, that basic school dropout, who wanted to go to school so bad, but couldn't go